Thank you. You know, it's astounding to me. I'm almost aghast, actually, that we're hearing brought up time and time again, Senator from Rhode Island, Senator from Illinois, talking about firings of people that have handled FOIA, especially those that were handling it in the last administration, when that was undoubtedly the greatest government gaslighting in the history of our nation on some pretty catastrophic cover-ups. Specifically, let's start with the COVID pandemic. The state of Florida had to do a grand jury investigation to determine how much the people had been misled. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first three words in our Constitution, we the people, say who is in charge of this government. The whole point of the Freedom of Information Act is to make sure that we the people can assess the performance of our government. And how in the world are we supposed to determine if government has run amok if it's done under the cover of darkness and we can't get information? It's saddening that you had a state that had to do a grand jury investigation to get information. And is it shocking to anyone that the new administration came in having seen the damage and the carnage over the last 4 years related to COVID and deaths and immigration and an overrun and a surge of inadmissible and dangerous people of our nation? Is it any doubt or surprise that this new administration would go, those people who were in charge of answering to we the people, gotta go? That should shock no one. And the fact that it's brought up when we're going back to the root of the purpose of FOIA, I mean, in the last administration, we saw people and policy unleashed like termites that weakened and destroyed the structure of this nation. And when we the people needed answers for that, we got nothing. And I know a little bit about this because I was the Attorney General of Florida. And not only did I make requests myself when the Biden administration started releasing criminals here illegally back into our communities rather than detaining them on serious felonies and deporting them, when they started pushing and actually start saying that we needed quotas to mass release into our interior people that were inadmissible or dangerous, when they started releasing people on the terrorist watch list into our nation, when they started hiding information on why they were pushing out things related to COVID, I mean, these were serious, serious things that weakened our nation. And we, the people, needed to get on top of that. We, the people, needed to make sure that our government was being accountable to us. And in 2023, the U.S. government agencies censored, withheld, or claimed records could not be located 2/3 of the time. I believe my office, as the Attorney General in the state of Florida, we brought over 6 lawsuits against this administration when they wouldn't respond. And I concur wholeheartedly that it shouldn't take lawsuits to get our government to respond to us. I mean, thankfully, I took it as a responsibility when it was like the Wreck-It radicals unleashing on our nation. I took it as, we'll be Fix-It Florida and do whatever we need to do to get the information to the people. But the reality is we now have an administration that says, okay, we're gonna try and deal with the career-embedded people that withheld from we the people. But we now as Congress need to say, how did this happen? How could you have that go on, that gaslighting go on, and have people in Mayorkas, Kamala Harris say repeatedly, the border is secure. And you can't check us on it because we're going to withhold all the information from you. What is the biggest change we could make to the statutes right now, Mr. Howell, that would prevent that from ever happening again?
So the two things I point out in my testimony are, one, penalties, as Senator Kennedy discussed in great detail, and two is clarifications about the exemptions that they routinely use to withhold information, whether it relates to personal privacy, law enforcement exemptions are very broad, or other sorts of exemptions they're using to force us into court to fight them for those documents that belong to all of us.
Thank you, Senator Corn.